Jax and Junior Oko Jack. Welcome, and this is Brand Jack. Welcome to yet another edition of Brand It. How are you today? What we're going to talk about today on Brand It is get up, stand up, and there's a certain demographic that will get what I mean exactly, and that will be the baby boomers and the Gen Xers. Now, you'll get the musical reference I'm talking about. But let me help you all a little bit more because we're nice like that. If you haven't heard we're jamming, I wanna jam it with you. You probably heard one love, one heart, or you've heard Rastaman vibrations, hey, yeah, positive. No? Surely you heard no woman, no cry. Okay, so now we are all on the same page, and you know that today we are going to be taking our branding lessons from no other but Robert Nesta Marley, all popularly known as Bob Marley. What are we going to learn? There's going a lot to learn about Bob Marley. Yeah, about Bob Marley, which you can check on Wikipedia and Google. There's loads of information, and there's still loads of Bob Marley lovers out there. But for today, what we are going to learn is how you and I can get up and stand up for our brands and build them like Bob Marley, taking lessons from what he did. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a personal or a business brand, it doesn't matter at all. These tips I'm going to share with you will apply to you and you can use them easily. Are you ready? Okay, let's take the first one. Do not seek to blow too fast. One thing we like in Nigeria, and I think it's a mentality all around the world. We want to blow. We want to just go from 0 to 100 in 10 seconds. No, let me tell you about Bob Marley's life. Bob Marley started his first band called The Teenagers with Peter Tosh and Bonnie Wailer in 1963. He was a teenager, and all of them were, and the world did not discover his talents until the mid 1970s, about 1974, when somebody did a cover of his one of his songs. But he was known locally. He had local hits. So what do you have to learn from that? First of all, don't be in a hurry to blow. Number 2, use your growing times, your anonymous times, your local times to learn and hone your craft and develop your brand. Now, here's another tip. If you're a local, regional, or a niche brand, own your space. Own your space. Earn from it. Show up. Be the best that you can ever be from it. There was already a form of reggae. It was a really light beat, like licky, 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 obladi, oblada. It was nice and light. There was ska, there was dancehall. But Bob Marley and the Wailers came in and they added a heavy, almost menacing beat. Naka, 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 naka. There was a strong bass beat, almost irresistible. And they added it to ska and dancehall. And they changed the familiar, the niche, to something that was new and compelling. So within your niche, learn to innovate. Learn to innovate. Create something new from what you have already. Now be prepared. Now this is the third tip. Yeah, I think this is the third tip. Be prepared for when opportunity knocks. You might think, oh, nobody's paying attention to me right now. Believe me, they are. After Eric Clapton did a cover of Bob Marley's song I Shot the Sheriff in 1974, it just blew the lid off everything. Everybody wanted to know who sang the original. And when they dug in, and that's what music lovers do typically, who sang the original, when they dug in, they now discovered Bob Marley, and Bob Marley already had a body of work that he was ready to present to the world. So he was there. Like they say, River Niger was discovered by Mongo Park. Okay, people discovered Bob Marley, but he was already there, thriving. He now moved from a local stage to a bigger international stage. So hone your craft. Be prepared when opportunity knocks at your door. It's not when the opportunity knocks that you say, "Oh, okay, listen, I need to go back and get my stuff ready." No, he was already a singer, songwriter, an entertainer. So be prepared and learn to grow and glow in the dark. Now, be you. Actually, find out. Take time to find out who you are. It sounds a little bit like motivational speech, but it isn't, because we are all different people. Sometimes we tend to do group think and group action, but we are all different people. So who you are is not who I am, and how I would face things is not the same way you would face things and handle things. So be that person pro max once you discover who you are. And why do I say this? In the midst of legends like Peter Tosh, Bonnie Whaler, U Roy, I Roy, how do I know all these people? They're in my generation. I'm a baby boomer, right? Okay. Bob Marley remained exactly who he was. He was that guy that would come out and would say, whoa, yo, 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 and he'll swing his head like a lion swinging his mane. And we all remember, and he'll jump up and jump down, forget to put one leg down. That kind of, all the iconic things that made him who he was, he remained true. So be you. Get that X factor that makes you uniquely you. And if you're going to brand, do it for the long term. Like, don't do it for just tomorrow. Don't look for 0 to 100 in 60 seconds or 1 second. Don't be a sprinter. Well, there's a place for sprinters and there's a place for long distance runners, but strong brands are long distance runners. My desk research revealed that there's a strong brand name recognition for Bob Marley and his music in demographics from Gen Zers. These are people as young as 15, 16 years old to baby boomers and millennials and everybody in between. That is a strong brand. That is a legendary brand. So it's relevant and it's known by people across the world. And if they don't know his music, his name, they know his music. And that is the kind of brand I would love to be. Wouldn't you love to be that kind of brand too? I'm sure you would. Be intense even when you are anonymous. Be intentional about building and honing your brand. Be compellingly yourself. Build to last. Keep branding. It's a continuous process. You will tweak, you adjust. It's like an aircraft. You just keep course correcting as you go along so you don't go off course. And lastly, don't build alone. But Marley had the Wailers, he had Peter Tosh, he had Bonnie Whaler, and then he had the I3. And he had a whole group of people managing him. This branding thing, it's hard for you to do it without other people with different skills. I couldn't do it without my team. Who's your team? Do you have a team around you? But don't worry if you don't have a team. You don't have to walk the branding path alone. We at Julia Jacks Consulting are here to work with you when you're ready. Let us know. Take care and see you next week. Meanwhile, keep shining.